Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Asteroid City, and this movie is directed by Wes Anderson, and it just came out this year, 2023, and I missed it while it was in theaters, and I just saw that it was on Blu-ray, and I decided to check it out, and I enjoyed the movie overall. There are parts that I liked, and there are some elements to the story that I really enjoyed, and I liked how the story was told for the most part, and the movie is very well shot. It's very symmetrical, and I did like the music. I liked the main theme of the movie, and it fit with the tone of the film, and all that stuff I really enjoyed. The acting was great, and there's so many people to mention that it's going to take forever for me to list them all. Like it says right here on the cover, so if you want to know who they are, just look them up. I'm not even going to bother because there's just so many to list. Like, who do I start with? I'll say this much, though. If you're just based on this cover alone, like, you do get a decent amount with these two, Scarlett Johansson and Jason Schwartz. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Like, you get a lot of screen time with those two. Tom Hanks, not so much. He's not in the movie a lot, believe it or not. He's in it for like 15 minutes at most, or that's how much it felt like to me. I could be wrong, but he was in it a lot less than I was expecting, and that's not necessarily a criticism, it's just something to keep in mind. And speaking of things to keep in mind while watching this movie, there is a nude scene in this movie where one character gets completely naked, and you see them naked for like, I don't know, 1 or 2 seconds. And this movie is PG-13, so it's like the first fully nude person I've seen in a PG-13 movie. That's something to keep in mind. And overall, I liked the second half better than the first half. The second half delivers on what I'd want, like from a basic Wes Anderson movie, just like the basic things that I would want, and like all the things I've listed that were positives. The movie looks nice. I like the music. Acting's great, and I enjoyed the tone of the film, and all that I enjoyed in the second half of the movie. And for the first 20 minutes of the first half, everything in between is just really, really bland for me because it didn't really feel like the movie was going anywhere. And it took forever for there to be a hook for me. And once there was, it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting where this is going. But I can't really say I was connected to any of the characters. Like, that's a problem for me. The story, I like it in concept more than I like it in execution. In execution, it doesn't really feel like it's doing a whole lot. And there's a lot of characters in this movie, and each one kind of has their own story, and you might think that this is one of those movies where there's a whole bunch of different side stories combined to create one big story, and it does do that in a way, but at the same time it doesn't really feel all that connected, and it doesn't really feel purposeful in any way that I would find to be interesting. And overall, it kind of just felt a bit pointless and aimless, and it was just a movie that had Wes Anderson elements that I liked, but narratively I didn't really connect with it, and it's just the story and the characters really that dragged it down for me, and because of that it just wasn't working all that well for me, and because of that it really hurts the experience while watching the movie. And if all that wasn't bad enough, I watched this movie at home, and there's no 4K Blu-ray for this movie. There's just DVD, Blu-ray, and this movie came with a digital code, or the Blu-ray that I bought. And as you can see, this is the Blu-ray. Unfortunately, for some reason, like, I don't know what happened. I don't think it's something that I did, but for some reason, the Blu-ray disc that I got with this wasn't working properly. It just wouldn't play, and it kept freezing, and like I would skip to a scene, it would play 1 second and it would freeze, and I was like, what's going on? And then I popped the DVD in that this came with, and it was playing just fine. So I guess since I watched it in DVD quality and not 1080p quality, like the best possible quality I could watch at home, that's kind of dragged it down a little bit for me. Because I just felt like I should be getting like a better experience, but I'm not. It's just a worse version of Blu-ray, really. And there was like some scenes that looked very pixely, and I was like, "Yep, this is DVD quality," and I'm just gonna have to suck it up and power through this so I can just watch it and say whether or not I like it or not. And I'll probably rewatch this movie at some point. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a copy that actually works, like where the Blu-ray actually works, because this was just stupid, and I'm kind of upset. And despite all my criticisms, I did enjoy the movie overall. It's just I have a lot of issues with it. It's mostly just that first half that I had an issue with. Like, once we get into like 5 minutes before Act 2, then that's where I start to like the movie again, and I enjoyed the rest of it. Like, I enjoyed the movie enough, and there were points in the movie where I found it to be kind of funny, and it was working for me. Like, technically speaking, I thought it was really good, and it was a solid movie. Probably my least favorite Wes Anderson movie that I've seen. Either this or The Darjeeling Limited, like one of those two. This was worth my time overall, I would say. It's just kind of disappointing after me really loving like some of his movies, like Grand Budapest, Moonrise Kingdom, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Like, those three I think are pretty fantastic, and even Isle of Dogs is a really good movie, even if I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being very good. So if you like Wes Anderson movies, then I would recommend this movie to you. But if you've never seen a Wes Anderson movie, or you're not really a fan of Wes Anderson movies, I would say skip this one, and I would say watch Moonrise Kingdom or Isle of Dogs, something like that. One of those 4 movies that I just mentioned, because I think those movies are a lot better than this movie. This movie's still good, it's just a worse version of all those movies I mentioned already. Once again, despite my criticisms, I would still recommend it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Asteroid City a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Asteroid City, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Uncle Buck. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.